Hey, have you guys ever made a mistake? I write books every once in a while, and I've always been tempted to put a typo in there on purpose. Fortunately, I haven't needed to. There's enough typos in there by mistake. But what do you do with yourself when you make a mistake, and how do you raise up your kids in a way when they make mistakes so that they know that they're on a solid ground still? What did you find growing up?
So one rule in our house that I think was really awesome was that it's always okay to make mistakes. But one story that Dad told us when we were growing up was about how there was this really special job when he was in kindergarten where he got to be the wake-up fairy. So the teacher had one kid every day dress up in like wings, a little wand to go around and like tap people on the shoulders. And one time Dad got to be the wake-up fairy and was so excited about it. Couldn't wait to do that job. But while he was doing that, he accidentally stepped on somebody's nose. Like he wasn't even trying to like hurt somebody. And I feel like that's a lot of times how mistakes go.
Oh, I know. I was the wake-up fairy. I was so into the character. I just wasn't thinking about somebody's face.
Yeah. And so that idea that when we make mistakes, because it's inevitable, we're all going to make mistakes, but that those mistakes aren't the things that define us. And that there are lots of stories about, the wake-up fairy story where you made a mistake, but then also in the Bible, like the people that Jesus picked to follow him were fishermen, and fishermen were the ones who didn't get to go to school with the rabbis. Like they didn't quite make the cut, but they were the ones that Jesus decided, you're who I want to spend time with.
Yeah, and they always seem to get their nets on the wrong side of the boat. That's the 50-50
shot. You have
shot.
to tell them.
Right, you'd be like, push out a little further. It's like, they go, bad idea. But here's the deal. When they were told to push out a little further, even though they thought it was a bad idea, they did it anyway. And so sometimes when the people that you love make a mistake, and you're thinking you want to offer these words of correction about the mistake, there's something about just knowing that the way that you treat them has a lot to do with how they perceive God treating them with grace. Do you meet them with a bunch of correction, or do you meet them with a bunch of love?
Yeah, and that idea too that when we make a mistake, that's not the whole story. Like you look at, Dad had trouble as a kindergartner, so it'd be easy to say that, oh my goodness, you messed up Wake Up Fairy one time, so you're bad at school. But the thing is, Dad ended up growing up to start schools. So it's all about seeing people as who they're becoming. And even the story about Peter, he was a really bad friend to Jesus. Like in the last few moments of Jesus's life was denying that he even knew Jesus, and Jesus's response was to tell him, Peter, you are a rock, and when people look at you, they're going to think of me, and I'm going to use your life to build the whole entire church. And so that the way that we treat others or treat our kids or treat kids who are in our care, when we think about mistakes, we think about this is not all you are known by. Like you are becoming something great.
And sometimes if you think it's all happening, we got to fix this right now, just realize and remind yourself, if you want to make a radish, that takes 20 days. If you want to make a pear, that takes 7 years. And so I think sometimes we're putting like sod where God really wants to plant seed. And know that in your life and in the lives of the people that mess up around you, just quit treating them like radishes. Say there's a pear in there somewhere, and it's going to take a little while. All right, you guys, so long.